And welcome to a Greater You show here on IntellectualRadio.com. We are on iHeart Station, and anywhere you get your podcast, Spreaker, anywhere you get your podcast, you can check us out here on IntellectualRadio.com. We are the station that feeds your brain. I'm your host here, Dr. Anthony L. Gantt, for this particular show. If you wouldn't done this already, if you go to YouTube.com and go to IntellectualRadio.com on YouTube, and hit the subscribe button there, and also hit the bell so you can be notified of all the shows that we have going on here, Sunday through Saturdays. Mornings, afternoons, evenings. All of our shows are recorded as well. They are done live, but then they're also recorded so that you can look at these shows as often as you want, whenever you want. And then you can go back as a year from now, a year ago, 5 years ago. We have shows that far back, and definitely some people that you would definitely want to connect with on other platforms as well. So we got shows here Sunday through Saturday, again, mornings, afternoons, and evenings. So again, I'm Dr. Anthony L. Gantt, the host of the show, A Greater You show here. And this is a self-help show, self-help book club, self-help coaching session, self-help class, right? It's all here to help you become better and do better in your life, and be better as a person, or become better as a person in your life as well. So we're doing a series on goal setting. However, before I get started, I would like to promote people. And if you'd like to get promoted on one of the shows that I do here on IntellectualRadio.com, you can definitely get in touch with me at fullerpurposemedia@gmail.com. Again, that's fullerpurposemedia@gmail.com. So I'm going to promote a young lady. I'm sure she'll love me calling her a young lady. She is young, though. She is young, but she's a young lady. So her name is Miss Pamela Denise. And whether you are a first-time home buyer, an investor looking to build your portfolio, or you're purchasing your dream home, Pamela Denise at Exception Realty is who you need to call. She has 24 years of experience and a team that is ready, willing, and very capable to assist in all of your real estate needs. You will also get a free consultation by mentioning you heard about Pamela Denise on A Greater You show here with the host, Dr. Anthony L. Gantt, here on IntellectualRadio.com and an iHeart station. For more information, contact Pamela Denise at 773-447-8546. Again, that's 773-447-8546. Or you can email her at info@keepitmoving.us. That's info@KEEP as in Paul, IT as in Tom, MOV as in Victor, ING.us. So get in contact with her. She can definitely help you out because she know all those phases, done all those phases herself. So she can definitely help you out in those lanes in regards to real estate. So give her a call or shoot her an email and tell her that you heard from me. So she really take care of you then. Now she's gonna take care of you whether you heard from me or not, but she's good. So again, this is the Greater You show. Again, the self may be new to me and new to IntellectualRadio.com. And we are in the series on how to set and get your goals. This is part 5 of that series. So this is the last one of the series that we're doing. Some people might be saying, well, great. You've been talking about this for 4 other sessions, but this is part 5, last session. And so just to do a recap, again, if you're new to me, I always do a recap of the shows prior to this show, just so you can kind of get caught up to speed. And if you have missed a show or something like that, you'll know where we are based on what I'm talking about today. So we came from lesson 1 from the book. And we talked about how important goals were and how life is always questioning you. And life is asking you some questions. One of the questions that is asked you is, what is it that you want? And that's a question that life is asking you every day. What you want today? What you want this week? What you want this month? What you want this year? In other words, what do you want out of your life, right? So this is why goals are so important. And we realized, and we talked in session 1, how goals were also beneficial. You had to look at them as beneficial and look at them that it's something good for your life. Now, that may sound elementary, but apparently for some of us, we don't believe they're good or beneficial because we don't set very many of them, right? So you thought something was good for you or beneficial for you. You try to make sure you had a bunch of that or a lot of that. And we also talked about the word achievement, and you want to be a life achiever or a total life achiever. And we talked about some of the fact that the word achieve, one section of the word achieve, one part of that word is the same word that we get in the English form, which is chef. And a chef is a person that's cooking up food in the kitchen. And that's what you are. You are a life chef. You should be cooking up some goals in the kitchen, so to speak. You should have always cooking up some type of goals. That's if you want to be an achiever. And being an achiever is something different than just having a goal set for January 1st or setting it on December 1st, talking about this is what I'm going to do this year. That's good. However, we want to be an achiever. You want to achieve goals in March, you want to achieve goals in July and September, November, all throughout the year. You don't just want to achieve goals one time or just set goals one time throughout the year. So that's what we talked about pretty much in session 1. In session 2, we came from lesson 4 in the book, and we talked a lot about how to live a balanced life, and that it's easy for us to achieve one goal. It's easy for you to say, for instance, you want to lose weight. If you spent all your time trying to lose weight, well, you can do that. You don't go to work, you don't see your family, you don't worry about earning any money. Just go out there, exercise all day, every day. You can achieve that goal of losing 50 pounds or being the healthiest person on the planet. Yeah, you can do that. However, other areas of your life need attention to as well. And sometimes we don't realize how big our lives are. We think our lives are small. We think the only people that may be popular have big lives, but you have a big life too. So we talked about the 9 areas that you should have goals in, and I will reiterate this again by the end of the show too. But those 9 areas, there's no hierarchy with the areas, and one is not more important than the other, so to speak. They all need to have goals in them if you want to live a balanced life. So one area is career, another area is education, another area is financial, another area is health, another area is material things, another area is recreational, another area is relationships, another area is spiritual, and another area is volunteering. So you should have goals in all those areas in life. And what ends up happening a lot of times, we only have goals in 1 or 2 of those areas. We may be spiritual giants, but then, our health is not good. We may be very healthy, but our finance are out of whack. We may be very financially straight, but our education is not there. We maybe have a lot of educational goals or achievements, but then, our career is pretty much tore up. But then we might be very good in our career, but then our relationships are all out of whack. Then our relationships might be really, really tight, but then we don't volunteer for anything. We might be volunteering for everything, but then we don't have any recreational time for ourselves. So with all those areas of your life, all of those areas are important. You need them just like I need them. And we need to have goals in all those areas. And sometimes when you get to start trying to balance your life out, you'll start finding out that areas where you were very excessive, you start bringing that down as far as spending less time in those areas so you can spend more time in other areas so you can balance your life out. So that's some of the things we talked about in session 2. That's a lot. Well, in session 3, we came from lesson 7 in the book, and we talked about how to set a goal. Just because you say, I want this, you have to actually set a goal, because if your goals aren't set, then it's going to be kind of hard for you to get them. So we talked about how your goals have to be specific. You have to be specific about what you want. You just can't say, I want a lot of money. What's a lot of money? A lot of money to one person could be $500. A lot of money to another person could be 500 million. So what's a lot? So you have to be very specific in what you say that you want as your goals that you actually set out to get, and they have to be established. When you have set goals, it'll stabilize your life. Any area of your life that's not stable is probably an area where you don't have very many goals or a goal at all. So you want to have goals in all these areas. And like I stated before, if you're in a hole, set a goal. And most likely, if you don't set a goal, you're going to find yourself in a hole in those areas. And you'll find yourself doing nothing but putting out fire. So that's pretty much what we talked about in session 3. Session 4, we came from lesson 9 in the book. We talked about reasons. You have to have reasons for your goals. You have to have why. So not only is life asking you, what do you want? It's also asking you, why do you want it? Why do you want that particular car? Why do you want to lose that weight or gain some weight? Why do you want to do that spiritually? Why do you want to have that type of relationship? Why do you want to get this type of educational degree or certification? Why do you want to do certain things? So you have to have why. I shared with you before that setting a goal is like putting a stick or a pole in wet cement. And the wet cement are your reasons. And when those reasons are hard and solidified, then it'll make your life solid as well, because now the goal won't move. See, the goal shouldn't be moving from you. You should be moving to it. But if the goal is not set, you're going to always have to move to it because it's not set. Anything that's set in a particular location is not moving, so you can always get to it because of the fact that it's stationary target, so you can hit it. And so that's where we came from lesson 9. So that's a lot. It's a lot to remember too. Anywho, so we are in part 5 here, and we're going to come from lesson 12 from the book. And one thing that we have to realize, I said a lot about goals. Obviously, I don't only scratch the surface doing this series, but I said a lot about goals. However, in order to achieve goals, you got to have plans. Goals can't get achieved without plans, and plans won't be made without goals being set. If you don't have goals set, then you won't make plans, and you can't make plans unless you have goals set. So a lot of times, planning is so important. It's an intrinsic part of the actual achievement process. And one of the things that hurts us a lot is that we don't know how to plan well. And since we don't know how to plan well, because usually we're not raised in a house, or we don't go to school, and we don't go to planning 101 class, and we don't go to college and go to planning 101 and 102. So a lot of times we don't know how to plan things for ourselves in order to achieve goals. Now we know how to work off other people's plans. If they say this is what you do at 2:00, that's what we do. This is what you do at 3:00, that's what you do. So we know how to work on their plans, but we don't know how to actually work on our own plans or create our own plans to get the goals we have. So this is why this is so important, that you must understand that, yeah, you can do all the things that we said and to get goals and putting things by them, and have all these goals in these different areas. But if you don't have plans set, then the chances are those goals won't get met by you. You won't meet them, and they won't meet you either, because you don't have plans. A lot of times people say, well, I wrote it down. I'm just going to pray on it and put my hands on it and close my eyes, blink 3 times, and I'm going to get that goal. Okay, fine. I know that you'll get more goals that you plan on getting than goals that you don't plan on getting, right? So if you plan on getting the goals, then you can get them. So with goal setting, you have several different parts of the planning process. And again, I share with you, if you're in a hole, set a goal. Now, if you were in a literal hole, for instance, right? You're in a hole 10 feet deep, 20 feet deep or whatever, and someone set a pole up at the top of the hole. It's really, really sturdy and everything. They got it in cement. You got reasons. I need to get out this hole, man. It's cold down here. I'm tired of being down here, whatever it may be, right? So now you have these reasons. So the goal is set. So now you need something to pull you up out of that hole that you're in, right? And that's what the plan is. The plan that you have is the rope, so to speak, that you need to pull you out the holes that you're in. This is why this is so important. And so if you have a piece of thread trying to pull you up out of a hole, the thread is not going to work, right? It's going to be too thin. It's going to break. This is what happens a lot of times with us. We have these weak plans that can't actually pull us out of holes and attach ourselves to big goals. So now we have these goals that I need to do something with my health. I need to do something spiritual, or I need to do something with relationships or my finances, whatever it may be. And then we don't have these plans, and the plans aren't strong enough. This is when a lot of us just say, well, I'm just going to let God do it. I thought about it, just think positive, and it's going to happen. I believe in letting God do its part. I believe in praying. I think that's a good idea too. I believe in thinking positive. I think that's a great idea too. However, all those things would negate the fact if you didn't do any planning. Now, see, people, when it comes to somebody says, no, man, you understand, man, I just pray on it, and that's that. Okay. Hey, man, I just think positive. That's that. Okay, that's cool. But then when you ask them, what are you going to eat for lunch tomorrow? What are you going to eat for dinner tonight? They say, well, I'm going to eat some chicken. And you don't say, you're just not going to just think about positive, just think positive. You're not going to plan on getting the chicken or from the grocery store or going to a restaurant to get the chicken or cooking the chicken or what type of chicken you want. No, they don't think then. They be like, no, this type of chicken I'm going to get my chicken from this store or this restaurant. It's going to take me about 30 minutes to fry the chicken or smother the chicken or bake the chicken or whatever I'm going to do with the chicken, right? They have a planned out. They know what seasons they're going to use, how long it's going to take in the oven. But see, all these plans they have, but they never say, hey, well, you know what? I'm just going to think positive, and that chicken just going to show up, right? I'm just going to pray, and this chicken going to just come out the grocery store, come to my house, already cooked and everything. I ain't got to do nothing. No, they don't think that. But see, when it comes to goals, this is what we do the way we like to bow out of our lives, as I call it. We don't want to get into the planning process because the planning process is some work, right? Some work to plan. And one part of planning is how-tos, right? And a goal, this is one thing about a goal, right? I always share this with you, that when you have goals, it helps you lean into the future. The rest of your life that you're going to live is going to be in the future. Now, if you don't get to tomorrow, then you don't have to worry about anything because you don't, right? But if you actually live and live another year, live another 5 years, live another 10 years, 20 years, you're going to be here another 5, 10, 20 years. Now, if you're not going to be here that long because you don't know if you are or not, then you don't have to worry about it. But just in case you might be here 5 years, then you should probably have some goals to help lean you into the future and have some reasons on why you want the goals that you want, and then have some plans so you can get those goals that you want in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, whatever it may be, right? So when you have a goal shows that you care about your future. So when you have a goal in your finance, you care about your future and your finances. You have a goal in your health, you care about your health. You care about your health in the future, right? Your future health. You have a goal in your spiritual life, then you care about your spiritual life in the future, right? You care, but you have a volunteer goal. You care about helping people volunteering in spaces. The point is that when you have a goal, you care about your future. And it's good. It's good to care about your education. It's good to care about your career. It's good to care about your relationships. It's good to care about even material things that you want to have. It's good to care about your health. Those are good things to care about, right? However, a plan shows that you are caring for your future. So you can care about it, but then you can get into the place where you're caring for it. And that's what a plan does. See, a plan is how you're caring for your future, but it's also how you carry yourself into the future. Because excuse me, once you have the goal and you have a plan, the plan that you have puts you in a position to make the goal more attainable. It puts you in a position to make the goal more reachable. So if that's the case, I need to like my plan more than I need to like the goal. So a lot of us get excited about the goal, the new car, new house, new relationship, whatever it may be, right? We love that part, but then we don't get excited about the plan. And really the reality is you can always see how well you're going to get most of the goals you are based on how excited you are about the plan that you have. If you're not excited about the plan you have, here's the reality. Chances are you're not going to get the goals that you claim you want to get, right? The goals that you have set. So the plan is asking you how you going to do it. This is what life is asking you. How you going to do it? Okay, you said you want that, right? That's what you want, right? You said go. Life said, where you going? You said, I'm going over there. See, that's what my goal is. The life said, okay, why you want it? You said, here's the reasons why I need to get over there. And then life also say, how you going to do it? How you going to do it? Right? So part of, and what I said last session, that part of having a goal is having direction, right? It gives you direction in life. You know where you're going in certain areas of your life because you have goals in those areas. You know where you're going in your health because you have this health goal of eating more vegetables, right? And that's going to help you bring your blood pressure down, whatever, right? So you said the reason why I need to get my blood pressure down because I don't want to have a stroke or an aneurysm, something like that, right? I want to actually be healthier and I want to get rid of these migraine headaches or whatever I have going on, right? So I'm going to eat more vegetables and do these certain things because I want to feel healthier and be able to spend more time with my family, not feeling sick, right? So that's my reason. So now I have this reason for these goals, right? Well, what's the plan? I mean, am I going to eat vegetables every Tuesday and Thursday? Am I going to eat these type of vegetables, green vegetables on this day, these type of vegetables on this day? What am I going to do, right? Am I going to eat more fruit in the morning or what am I going to do, right? More protein. What am I going to do with my, which is the plan, which is the direction my life is going. However, what I want to add to this with the plan is that not only is the goal giving a place for me to get directions, the plan is giving me instructions. Now, here's where we have problems because a lot of us don't like instructions. Don't instruct us on no. Don't give me no instructions because we, for some reason, we just, we want, if it's 10 instructions to do something, we want 5. Can I do it in 5? Right? You know what I'm saying? It takes 10 days to do it. Can I do it in 3? We want to see how quickly we can do it. Can we take some of those instructions out of what you have going on? So if you don't like getting instructed, then I guarantee you don't like planning. Because part of planning is having instructions on how to do something. You need to know how to do what you need to do to actually get the goal that you have set. If you don't know how to do some things, how are you going to get the goal? If you don't know how to save $1,000, right? You say, I want $1,000 saved. Well, if you don't know how to do that, how are you going to get the $1,000? You're not going to get it because you don't know how to do it, right? So this is why a lot of us kind of go into bowing out of our lives and just say, well, I'm just going, whatever happened, happened. I'm a good person and whatever happened, happened. You may be a good person, but being a good person without having a plan is still a person that won't achieve the goal. Most likely you're no different than the person that never set a goal. So you got to go ahead and get into this planning process. You got to love what your plan is because your plan gets you closer to the goals that you have set. Now, I said one part of it is how to, right? How. Now, with every plan, you also have a who. You have a how and a who. Right. So how to do something is going to come from who. Right now, I'm part of your who because you're looking at me and listening to me on the show. Right. So I'm part of the who. I may not be the main who, but I'm a who sharing with you how to get goals. Now, just say, for instance, you want to do something with your health. I just use that for an example. A who person could be your medical doctor. Right. A who person could be a physical trainer, a fitness trainer. A who person can be some type of person that deal with vitamins and nutrition, right? They can be those people. It can be a physical therapist, right? It can be those could be who people to help you with your health. A who person in maybe your education can be a counselor. A who person that can help you with your career could be a career counselor, could be a mentor. Those are who people, and who people are gonna always give you instructions. You want to actually do something in your life. You say, hey, I want to get spiritual. I want to be a spiritual giant. Okay. It's kind of hard to do that by yourself. You need some type of who. It might be a pastor, it might be a bishop, might be somebody that they have, what based on what you believe and how you believe, right? So I'm sure somebody probably been there before you, right? They say, hey, I've been doing this for 10 years. You say, oh, I want to do that too. They say, well, read this, go here. They're going to give you some instructions on what to do. This is in any area of your life. You want to say, hey, I want to volunteer and help out the children or help out seniors or whatever, right? And you say, but I don't know how to do it. And you go find a who, and a who will tell you how. This is why who people are so important, because they're going to usually tell you how. Now, if people haven't achieved very much anything, they can't tell you how to do anything. They may tell you how to, it's funny. I've been doing things like this for a long time. And it's funny how if you tell someone a legitimate way to do something, they be like, oh, man, I don't want to do all that. Too much work. Then somebody come along with a scam or a quick fix or something. Person jump up and down. I'm in. Like, I'm ready because it seems easy, right? And planning may be somewhat meticulous. I'll just be that upfront with you. It's very meticulous, somewhat tedious, right? To plan out what you're trying to do in all these different areas of your life. This is why I emphasized in this first session that we did that your life is big. You have this big old life. Big life, right? So you have this big old life, and if you don't realize that, you're gonna start thinking, you will become overwhelmed by the fact that, man, I gotta think about my relationships. And again, your relationship just don't mean your spouse or significant other. Again, you got children, you got friends, you got parents, you have all these different people that's part of your relationships, co-workers, neighbors. These may be friends of these relationships, right? So you got to say, hey, man, it might be nice to contact people in my family or something like that, other than when somebody died, right? This is something that motivated me years ago. It seemed like every time I would talk to cousin so-and-so and auntie so-and-so, we was always at a funeral. Hey, how you doing? When the last time I seen you? What last time we talked? Oh, 3 years ago, 5 years. I felt so bad. Like, my God, I mean, it's all the, I can't call. My goodness. I mean all the stuff that's going on. We got to wait till we show up at another sad occasion to say hello. So I started making that part of my relationship goals to stay in contact with a lot of people in my family, right? And cousins and everything. So, I've been doing this for a long time. So it's not like something I just started. So a lot of times people in my family, they think I know about everybody, right? Because I try to talk to people as often as I can, and I don't I'm talking to everybody on this day. It may be, I may talk to them and say, you know what, I'm going to talk to all these friends or cousins or whatever it may be. And I want to talk to all these people at least 3 times this year, right? And I try to do that. Sometimes I may talk to some 5 times. I may talk to some 2 times, right? But I talk to them as often as I can, right? Because it's part of my relationship building that I do, right? I'm going to have to reach out to them in the form of a text or email, but I just try to reach out to them because that's part of my relationship goals, right? However, those not spouses, those not significant others, so to speak, because that's what most of us stop when it comes to relationships. Those are other people that are in relationship with me to some capacity. So those are what I'm saying is that's why you need to have these goals. So it does seem kind of overwhelming. It seems kind of tedious that you have all these different areas and you're trying to get better. That's why I told you that I'm a person that advocates being an achiever. And being an achiever means that you do this not just on January 1. You do this all the time because you're always in the back in the kitchen cooking up some goals, right? You're always cooking up some goals. You always got something going on. You're always achieving something along the way. So let me go back to saying that's why you need to find a who. You need to find a who so you can know a how. And when you find out how to do something, that means you know how-tos. Part of a plan is how to do some things. Now, another part of a plan, because obviously the plan that you have is the way that you're going to get what you have, or the ways. In every state in the union, there's more than one road to get into the state based on where you're coming from. If you come from the east part of a state, then, obviously there's several roads to get you into the next state because based on where you're located. However, if you're on the west part of another state of that state, then it's different roads that you would take to get into the state. But there are many roads to get into the state, regardless of where you are, right? Well, there's many ways to get the goals that you have set. This is why you need to make plans, because if you have all these many ways, you don't know where to go. You don't know which way you're going to go for yourself, because you got 10 different ways that you can do this thing. So now we have to say, okay, which way am I going to do? I think I'm going to do it this way. This is the road that I think I'm going to travel on to get the goal I have. So the second part of, so to speak, of planning is to-dos. Now you know how to, because you got a who helped you get a how. So now you need to-dos. So you need to know what the to-dos are, which is kind of connected with the how-tos. So what is it that you need your to-dos? So you should have, and this is what I used years ago, and then I kind of evolved and started using some different things for myself. But I always encourage people, you get your notebook, get your spiral notebook, only costs $1, whatever it costs, right? Get your spiral notebook and just, put your goals in there and separate them with each page, with each area, right? And you may have 2 pages for each area, right? Because you got, you might have 75, 70 pages or 100 pages in this notebook, right? And this is just your goal notebook. This is just what you have. And in this thing, not only do you have your goals, you can have your plans. Now I have what is called a project book that I use, right? And it started off being a notebook. Then I started, wanting to get a little fancy, I guess. I made them project books, hardbound, all this stuff. So I write my plans, I have, something I want to do, and I write the plans that I want to do. And I revamp them and change them and add and subtract with these plans that I'm trying to actually achieve in these goals that I have, right? Because I need to see a lot of things, because I told you, my life, like your life, is big. And I can't remember everything in my head, right? So some things, a lot of things I got to write down, because I thought that was a good idea last week, but a whole lot of other things happened in my life in a week, right? So now I kind of forgot about some of that stuff that I said. So I had to write it down. So that's why I have what is called a project book. Now, the other thing that I have that I use myself, I use a planner. So not only do I have a planner, I use a project book, and the project book is pretty much more my ideas and everything, the plans that goals that I have, and trying to put these plans together. And I keep this as a record for myself, because what I found out in doing this for so many years is that sometimes I planned on doing something, I don't know, we just say plan on getting a new couch, right? And then 5 years later, you're not thinking about it, but now you want a new dining room set. And so sometimes I can go back and see what the plan I used to do one thing, and how to use that same plan, or how can I make it even better to do another thing that's somewhat similar. So this is why I use notebooks and projects and everything. So I got a bunch of notebooks around, right? And I got a bunch of old notebooks and project books that I keep myself, so I can see my growth. See, I can see that, because I wanted to, years ago, I wanted to be an achiever. And I think today I'm an achiever, right? Now, have I achieved everything I wanted? No, I haven't, right? Is there some things that I didn't achieve at all? That's true. Yep. However, working on a whole lot of things helped me achieve things very, very often. And that's really what I'm trying to share with you, that you can do the same thing. So when you understand that part of your goals is how-tos and then to-dos. So you need to have something with the plan or the goal. This is why you need to see the goals often, right? This is why I didn't state this last session, but I'm going to put this interject in this session. One thing that will help you is being able to see the goals that you want often. Now, sometimes it's different ways you can do this. You can do this with a list. You can do this with like a vision board. A lot of times people use vision boards, and they take pictures out of magazines of the house they want, the car they want, how fit they want to look, right? They stick this vision board on in their dining room or whatever, in their house, or, whatever it may be, right? And they may do those things, which is good. Because my goals, for me, vision boards didn't work as well as for me, than writing things down, because I'm always in the back cooking up goals. So right when I took a picture of that house and everything, right, stuck it up there, I got another goal. So I'll be making vision boards all the time. If that's the case, I have vision boards all over the place. So instead of trying to decorate my whole house with vision boards, right, it was just simpler for me to have a list of things, and then putting these lists on things I had to do throughout the week or throughout the month, so I can kind of have these to-dos, so I can start checking this stuff off, right? So checking these things off my list. So I'm making these lists. So let's use a hypothetical, right? That you want to save $1,000 in a year, right? Let's use that. I know some people, that's not a lot of money, whatever. Just look at for the example. So you get paid every week from your job. So and you say, I want to say this year I want to make sure I have $1,000 saved, because last year I didn't save $1,000. So this year, this is what I want to do. Okay, great. So you said, well, I don't have $1,000. I don't get paid $1,000 off my job because I got other stuff to do in my life. Makes sense. So we say, hey, you want to do that in a year, right? Yeah. Well, let's say, can we do $20 a week every week for 50 weeks? Because you get paid every week, right? Yeah. Okay, so let's take $20 out your check every week, and then in a year, 50 weeks, you saved $1,000, right? So this is what you do. So every time you save $20, what you have just done is achieve part of your goal. Now, so because your goals evolve, you may say, yeah, I want $1,000, but now I need $5,000. I want two pair of shoes. I want all. So for me, using a vision board, again, I would have my whole house decorated with vision boards, right? Because I always have something going on. Hey, I want to run another mile. I want to do this. I want to eat some more vitamins or whatever, right? I want to do so many different things. So I'll be loading on that vision board like every day. But it's easy for me to just write it on the list and look at it as often as I want to look at it, right? So that's simpler for me. But you want to see the goals often. You may start off, and this is why it's easy to get one goal if that's all you have. Some people have a goal on their bathroom mirror. I want to do this. I'm going to earn this much money and all these different things. And they see this every day that, hey, I'm going to earn this much money, or I'm going to get me a college degree. And then, but again, what about the other 8 areas of your life? You got the college degree thing down, Pat, but what about these other areas of your life that you're not paying attention to? So maybe you had to put a goal up and all on your bathroom mirror, have all that up on there. Again, that's just a little bit more work for me, having all this stuff plastered all on the walls in my living room, where I live. So I would just prefer to just have it on the list, and you can do whatever works for you, but you have to see them often. So with me using a planner, and the planner that I use, I designed myself for myself, been using it, I don't know, close to 15 years now as of this date. So it's something that I designed for myself because every time I got a plan, I realized it was too small. Why? Because I realized my life was so big, right? Again, it had nothing to do with me. It has the fact that I had all these areas, just like you have all these areas, and I created a planner for myself that helps. I can fit all these areas in my life, and I can see them on a sky view every day, right? I can see, okay, whoa, man, you haven't done anything attending to your health in like 2 weeks. Oh, wow, let me go back to my goals. I need to get this done. I need to get these dates done. You remember what I said last session? Conceive date, commence date, completed date. So this is how I'm able to stay on track and say, man, you know what? Man, you concede all these different things in your recreational goals. Man, you didn't commence the work, but on 2 of them. Oh, yeah. But on your finances, you concede like 13 of them, and then you commence the work on 6, and then you completed 3. Okay. But then over here in your health, man, you did all these different things, right? So what has to happen is that when you see all this stuff from a sky view, you're able to take a better look at your life and see where you kind of going off track. You can see where you're giving more attention to something else. You can see where you're giving less attention to something else. It won't take you 5 years later when you find yourself in a hole and say, man, how I gain all this weight? How come all my clothes too tight, right? You won't find that out 5 years later because of the fact that you've been tending to your life on a weekly basis, right? A monthly basis, whatever it may be for you. And this is why you have to have these goals in there, and you have to see them often, but you have to see the activity that you have to do. You need to see the how-tos, and you need to see the to-dos because you need to be checking things off this list. Now, if you're doing the activity, that makes the goal that you want more reachable and more attainable for you. A lot of times, and I shared this in the last session, that can goals be unrealistic. And I told you yes and no, right? Because it's based on time. But because if you got something that you want to do something, earn $1 million in a week, can you earn $1 million in a week? Yeah, people do it all over the planet. However, you don't have a how you gonna do it. You don't have a real good reason why you need $1 million. Not saying that you couldn't use $1 million, but you have a real good reason. So now you're not even set up to get the $1 million by next Friday because you don't have a how. Now you may say, this is how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna play the lottery. Okay, that's your way of playing. I mean, that's your way of getting $1 million. Now somebody gotta win, right? So you plan and you play for a whole week, and maybe you win, but maybe you won't, right? So now you got to come up with some different ways on actually how to do that because that's a little bit more out of your control, right? So you have to find out the to-dos, and then you need to do it so that you can make the goal more reachable and attainable for you. See, the plan that you have, because plan, I probably could have did a whole 4 or 5 weeks on that by myself, but I'm not doing that, right? But here we go. So planning is how you protect the goal that you have set. Your goals need protection. And what protect the goals that you have set in any area of your life are the plans that you made to protect the goal. It's like this. If you ever went to a jewelry store, for instance, I know some people love jewelry and everything. And when you go to a jewelry store, they have in most jewelry stores, they have glass casings. And you say, "Ooh, look at that watch, look at that, bracelet, look at that necklace, look at that ring, whatever it may be." And when you're looking at it, you can be on top of the jewelry case, and you can see the ring or the bracelet or whatever it may be. Then you can kind of go to the side. You can still see that ring and that bracelet. You can go out down in front of there, and you can still see it, right? Any angle you go to, you can still see the bracelet or whatever the jewelry piece that you're looking for, right? But you just can't reach in there and get it because it's got this glass casing around. So here's what I'm saying. Your plan is like the glass casing around your goal. Everything to do with you getting that goal is the plan. You should be able to see your goal in anything that you do that's related to your plan. If anything that's in your plan that you can't see the goal when you're doing it, then it doesn't belong in the plan. It's just like seeing the actual goal, the ring in the jewelry case. If you looking off or something in your way, then that thing it's in the way of you seeing the actual goal. If you're doing something in your plan and while you're doing it, you can't see your goal while you're doing it, then that's something you probably should not do. That's not a do it, that's a don't it, right? Don't do it. That's probably what I should say. You shouldn't do that because it doesn't fit into your plan. Your plan is the go-between between the goal and you. That's the go-between. If you have no plan, then you have this big chasm or gap between the goal and you. The plan is what brings you and the goal together. And if you don't have a plan, then you can never get together with the goal because you don't have a plan to get together with the goal. If you don't have a health plan, you can't get together with the health goal. If you don't have a financial plan, you can't get together with the financial goal. If you don't have an educational plan, you can't get together with the educational goal. That's just the way it is in any area of your life. So you have to have the plan so you can get together with the goal. So the plan, the actions that's in the plan, the to-dos, the how-tos, all those different things, right? Those actions in that plan is how you get closer to the goal. The reality is short-term goals will help you get long-term goals. And everything you do that has something to do in your plan to get your goal is really putting you in a position to get the goal and making the goal fit into your life. I already shared with you that one of the acronyms that I use for goals, GOAL, get out and live, right? If you want to get beyond the life that you live in, you need to actually have a goal to get beyond that life. However, you get beyond that life and you get that goal that goal is now in your life. So you're doing your best by having the plan and doing the things in the plan. You're doing your best to have the goal fit into your life. But the goal can't fit into your life if the to-dos or the how-tos don't fit into your life. If you don't have those things fit into your present, you won't be able to have that goal in the future. So you have to actually do all these things. So that means those actions have to fit. So you say pounds, then one of the actions might be, hey, walk around the block once a week. Now, if you never do the walk around the block, then that means that the 5-pound weight loss that you want to have, you probably won't get. You won't meet that goal because you won't actually do those things, those to-dos or how-tos. You won't do those things very often. So that puts you in a situation where you can't win. That puts you in a situation where you won't get the goal. Now you're frustrated. See, that dude talked about all that goal setting stuff and doing goal set. I tried that stuff. I wrote it down. I said I was specific. I established it was a big old target and everything. I had all these reasons on why I need to get it, and I didn't get the goal. Well, you didn't do the stuff to get the goal. You didn't do the stuff in the plan. You didn't make a plan, and then you didn't do the stuff in the plan. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to get goals on accident. Only thing that happened on accident are accidents. If nobody planned on getting married on accident. What happened? What'd you do today? I don't know. I bumped into. I got married. No. They planned on doing that. Nobody planned get financially independent on accident. They planned on doing that. No one get healthy on accident. They planned on being healthy. No one gets spiritually close to the God that they believe in on accident. They planned on doing that. No one go out there and feed the homeless on accident. They plan on feeding the homeless. They plan on helping younger children. They plan on volunteering time. Well, wait a minute. If that's the case, if I'm not really getting a whole lot of things on accident, and most of the things that I'm going to get in life, I'm going to have to plan to get them, this is what it's going to take for me to be an achiever in life. And if I don't want to do the planning, I'm telling you, I'm planning not to have the goals. It's nothing. I mean, you go through all this work. So I want this goal. I want this. And this is what happened to a lot of us, right? Because after about 5 or 10 years of not getting things, then we just say, this is why we get to these places. I don't make New Year's resolutions anymore. I don't set no goals, I just kind of like flow. I just kind of like flow, I just flow, right? Whatever that means, right? They just flow. They don't have any plans whatsoever. But then they're supposed to get all these great things because they just flow. I don't want no restrictions on my life, man. See, you start putting these plans, I don't want to put all that pressure on myself. I just kind of flow. Okay, fine. However, if you want to get goals and you want to be an achiever, you're going to have to make plans. You're going to have to make plans to do things in relationships with people. You're going to have to make plans to be healthier physically. You're going to have to make plans to get a new house, car, boat, plane, car, a couch, a bedroom set. You have to make plans to do those things, right? You have to make plans to get shoes, right? You say, I want to get some new pair of shoes. How many pair of shoes you want? Well, I need me 3 more pair of black shoes. See, so now you make plans. I'm only going to spend this much money, and I'm going to get my shoes from over here, and I'm going to look at them next Saturday. Right? That's a plan. So now you go look at them on the internet and see when they're going to come on sale or whatever you're going to do, right? Because you're planning to get these 3 pair of black shoes because you got these 3 black outfits or whatever, right? And they will go really good with these outfits. That's your plan. That's your goal. And your plan is, I'm only going to spend this much money. And I'm going to work overtime to get the money so I can actually get the shoes. See, these are all things in the plan. And this is where, if you want to be an achiever, you're going to have to get to, because you have to make these plans. Now, your plans could be 5 how-tos, 10 how-tos. I don't know, based on what you're trying to get. It may take you some time to do those 10 things. Like I shared with you last session, it may, it's kind of hard to get a 4-year degree in 4 days. That's kind of hard to do, right? But you can get a 4-year degree probably in 4 years, maybe 3 years, based on maybe take the accelerated program, maybe 2 years. But see, here's the reality: you still need the credit hours. Well, so if you do the credit hours in 2 years or 6 years, you still need to get the credit hours. But what we do know, you can't do it in 3 days. I'm gonna get all 120 credit hours in 3 days. No, you're not. No, you're not. No. Right? So now we got something unrealistic. Now you frustrated on day 4 because you just in your 4th class and you wasn't like, what my degree? I've been here 4 days in a row. That's just not how it works in the real world. If you want to be an achiever, if achieving is part of your repertoire, if achievement is going to be part of your life, you got to do some things like plan, and you got to be involved with the plan. I always share with you, you got to be more excited about your plan than you are about the goal. Because see, every time you do something in the plan, you're actually achieving many goals. These are like benchmarks. I remember when I ran the marathon, and when I was training for the marathon, after you run you run 1 mile, you ran a while. 1 mile don't do anything to you 2 miles because you're good. You can do those 1-2 miles, right? When you start getting up to double figures in miles, you normally don't move as fast as you did a mile 1, right? You get to mile 10, 12, 15. You're like, man, shoot, am I walking? Because don't seem like I move very fast, right? So when I was training for the marathon, I took the same process I use, and I call it benchmark, because sometimes I was tired when I was just training, and that had nothing to do with actually doing it. So I would say, if I can just run to that tree, right? After I get to that tree, I'm gonna run to that fire hydrant, and I'm gonna run to that next corner. I'm gonna run to that blue car, right? Because these became benchmarks for me. Same thing happened to me when I did the marathon. Same thing happened to any goal that I have. I may, like when I just use the example, you want to save $1,000. Well, the benchmark may be, I'm gonna see, can I do 4 weeks in a row of that $20 thing, right? And that's going to be a benchmark for me, because that's like a month. I did 4 weeks in a row. And now I'm see, can I do, can I get up to 8? See, can I get to 10 times? See, can I get to 12 times, 15 times? These are all benchmarks, but really what they are, they're little goals achieved to get to the bigger goal to get achieved. You got to achieve all these little goals, which is what you're doing in the plan. All these activities, all these action steps that you're doing, those are the things you need to do, the little things all the time. Yeah, you may say eating 1 apple won't make you like that, like I'm going to see the doctor Tuesday. I'm going to eat an apple on Monday and see how my blood pressure is. No. You might have to eat like, what? I want to make sure I eat fruit every day for 7 days in a row. See what happens, right? That's a benchmark, because I want to do this for a month, but I don't know if I can do this for a month yet. I want to be, I want to eat a certain way for the next 5 years, but it may take me a while. I've been eating a different way. So now I'm doing these benchmarks. So you got to have benchmarks with all your goals. And benchmarks are easy to come up because you can set the benchmark. Hey, in 3 days, 3 months, when I do 2 semesters, that's a benchmark for me, because I only need to do a total of 8 semesters. When I get to 2, hey, I'm quarter away. Hey, when I get to 4, I'm halfway. Hey, when I get to 6, I'm 75% there. Hey, I got to 8. Hey, I'm ready. It's time for me to get that degree, right? Time for me to get that certificate. It's time for me to do these different things because of the fact that I have benchmarks. Just look at a pregnant woman, for instance. I ain't never been pregnant, right? I have 2 children, right? But I've never been pregnant myself, right? So I can't tell you the experience of being pregnant. Don't want to be pregnant either. So here's the thing, right? But with women, when they're pregnant, they have benchmarks. And you know what they call them? Trimesters. That's, hey, you should be like this. It's your first trimester. This should be happening. This is what you should be. You see what you look like. And hey, okay. Now you in your second trimester. Okay, the baby should be doing this. This should be happening. Okay, you're in your third trimester, so you should be getting ready for this. These things to happen, right? Those are benchmarks. And the same way that they do it there, you can do it in your life. You can have these benchmarks. You can call them trimesters. You can call them, whatever you want to call them. Give them names for them if you want to. But these are your benchmarks when you do certain things. When I have certain goals I want to do in business, I say, when I talk to this many people, that's a benchmark, even though I may want to talk to more people than that, right? I want to talk to 1,000 people, but just thinking of 1,000 people, that's a lot, right? So, one of my benchmarks, 50. Let me just get to 50. I get to 50, and then another benchmark may be 100. Another benchmark may be 150, whatever it may be, right? But then you're getting stronger, and the goal becomes more of a reality because you're doing all these little goals in the process of doing the big goal. So I said a lot here on planning, right? Because planning is just so important. You got to be involved with the plans because the plans are how you stay in touch with the goals. The plans, if the activity does not fit in your daily activity, the things you need to do, it's like this. The goals themselves, this is going to sound very elementary, okay? The goals themselves are like nouns. We're going to act like we're doing something in English, right? And the activity you do are like verbs. If you don't do the verbs, you won't get the nouns. In other words, if you don't do the actions, you don't do the how-tos, the to-dos, you don't do it, you don't do all those things, you can't get the goals that you have set. The goals that you have set are waiting for you to get them, but you can't get them if you don't do what's in the plan. You can't get them if you don't make a plan. You can't get them if you don't do the things that's involved with all the planning exercise that you have and that you need going on. So here's something for you, right? Here's a little story. I like to tell stories. I figure I get to tell y'all one. Maybe it's a bed. This might be a bed. This might be a bedtime story for some people. I don't know. But here you go. So here's it was the son and his father, right? And they're going out to fly a kite. Nice sunny day. A little light wind out. Now this is old time because I know they got other stuff now, technology and everything. You don't need to do things different. But they had a kite. So father took the son out to fly the kite. They out there flying the kite and everything. Son, little son, he happy, man. He happy. Ooh, right? He just looking at the kite, got his little hand on the little handle with the string and everything. And so now after a while, the kite is up in the air, way up there. He just excited. Look there, look. He just pointing up in the sky. Well, after a while, it doesn't take long for kids to get like disinterested, right? I'm ready to go, right? So now, he ready to go eat lunch and everything. He seen this kite up in the air, just up there for so long, all right, I'm about done with this. So he want to get the kite down out there. Kite's pretty much up there, maybe, a couple 100 feet or whatever. So the dad said, okay, just pull keep your hand on the string, just pull the string around the handle, right? So the little son's doing that, and it still looked like the kite is like 200 feet in the air. So the son is steady putting the little string around the handle. He's getting a little frustrated because it looked like, this thing not happening fast enough, right? He trying to get down, little winds, so it's a little hard. So if the father kept saying, hey, just keep doing what I told you. The who, father's the who, right? Keep doing what I told you, son. Keep putting the string around the handle. Oh, dad, okay, he do it. He said, do it 5 more times. I'm getting tired. Okay, do it 5 more times. Benchmarks, right? I did it 5 times. Okay, do it 5 more times. Okay, 5 more times. Well, after a while, the kite is out the air and it's in the hands of the son, right? All the son cheesing, they got the kite out the air, and they walking back to the car. And the son says to the dad, I didn't think I was going to get that kite out the air. It seemed like it was taking so long. I just didn't think I can do it. And the father looked at the son and said, as long as you had your hand on the string, you always had your hand on the kite. In other words, to break this down in odd layman's terms, what I'm talking about, as long as you have your hands on the plans, you have your hands on the goals. Yeah, the goal may seem far off right now, but keep your hands on the plan. Keep doing the plans. Okay, yeah, you did it more yesterday than you did. You can only do it 1 time today. Okay, that's okay. Because every time you take that string and put it around that handle, that kite or that goal is getting closer to you, or so to speak, you're getting closer to it. So you don't let go of it, because the moment you let go of the string, you have just let go of the kite. Well, the moment you let go of the plan, you just let go of the goal. And when the kite go away, it won't be in your life any longer. When you let go of the plan, when it go away, it won't be in your life any longer. You're trying to get this goal into your life, and that can only happen by you doing what's the plans, all the things in the plan. And if you don't know how to plan, you get with some people who can teach you how to plan to get what you want to get, right? So some of the things that life is asking you is how you going to do it. And this is why this plan is so important. This is why you get so excited about the plan, because every time you do something in the plan, you are actually achieving part of the goal. And you just achieving more and more. See, when you cut up a pie, you make a pie, whatever, and you cut it up. Sweet potato pie is one of my favorite I like to make, right? You cut it up, making everything, and you cut it in 8 slices. Does that mean that one of the slices is not a pie? No, it's just it's a slice of the pie. What's the same thing with your plan, what you're doing? It's a slice of the whole. You just have to just keep doing it in those plans in your relationship. Well, you know what? I'm trying to get this relationship right with my husband, wife, fiance, whatever, right? Significant other. And, we had one good talk, but you said you wanted to do this over a year. So you got to talk to him at least more than one time. One talk won't change everything. It may be a start of something, but it may not be the end of anything, right? So, but if you say, oh, that's it, I'm not talking anymore, that's it. You only did it once. You only did it once. You said you're going to work on this thing for a year. Well, one day is not 365, right? Same thing with, I tried to save money at the beginning of the year. I tried to save $20. Man, I'd say $18. I quit. No. Next week, just do 20. Just do 20. Don't worry about that you can't short for 2 weeks in a row. Well, that's what planning does for you. If you don't get excited about the plan, you're going to let go of it. And when you let go of all your plans in your health, you let go of your plans in your career, you're going to lose those goals that you said that you want. So if you want those goals, you want to be part of your life, then that means you got to hold on to the plans. The plans will get you the goals, but they won't get you the goals if you don't do what's in the plan. And they definitely won't get you goals if you don't make a plan. So I said a whole lot before I get ready to close. Man, it's one of my favorite topics. I said about all of them though. But I'm going to promote this young lady once again. If you want to get promoted on the show, just get with me at fullerpurposemedia@gmail.com. Okay, so Miss Pamela Denise, whether you are a first-time home buyer and investor looking to build your portfolio, or you're purchasing your dream home, Pamela Denise at Exception Realty is who you need to call. She has 24 years of experience and a team that is ready, willing, and very capable to assist in all of your real estate needs. You will also get a free consultation by mentioning you heard about Pamela Denise on a great news show here on IntellectualRadio.com and iHeart Station with the host, Dr. Anthony Gantt. For more information, contact Ms. Pamela Denise at 773-447-8546. That's 773-447-8546. Or info@keepitmoving.us. That's info, info, at keep, K-E-E-P as in Paul, I-T as in Tom, M as in Victor, ING.us. So get in contact with her, and she can help you out with those real estate goals that you may have, or just goals in particular involved in the real estate side. So let me do a recap before I close it out. Again, you need to realize your life is big, that life is always asking you questions. You have to understand that your goals are beneficial. They help you become a life achiever. In other words, you should always be cooking up goals. You should be accomplishing goals all the time, or achieving goals in many different areas of your life at many different times in your life, right? So you have to realize those 9 areas again: career, education, financial, health, material things, recreational, relationships, spiritual, volunteering. So you should have some type of goals in those areas, right? And regardless of the size of the goal, that's not what's relevant. What's relevant is that you have a goal in those areas. You can have 25 goals in areas and 5 in another, 15 in another, right? It's not a limit or a minimum that you have to have. Well, it is a minimum. 1. You got to have at least 1 in every area of your life, right? So you need to have 1 in every area of your life. So those are areas to help keep you balanced. You need to know how to set the goals that you have. You need to understand that you have to be specific. They have to be established. They help make stability, and they have to be a target. It's easy to hit a big target that's not moving, right? So if the goals don't move, but you should be moving toward them. Right? If your goals are moving, then they probably haven't been set. When your goals are set, then you should be moving towards your goals in every area of your life. And what happens is your life expands. You get bigger, 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 bigger because you realize already big, but all these goals, now you put more goals in your life. What are you going to do with your life while you're here on the planet? I don't know how long you're going to be here. I don't know how long I'm going to be here. But what I do know, you're not going to be here forever. And what are you going to do while you're here? While you're on the planet, isn't it a good idea to achieve some things while you're on the planet? Who want to be on the planet for 50, 60, 70 years? The only thing you achieve is a high school diploma. Who want to do that? You got some other stuff you can do in life. So, well, I achieved somewhat. I had a baby. You had sex. I mean, you didn't make no baby. You just had sex and ended up getting pregnant or getting somebody pregnant. It should be some things you do on the planet. You should get some educational goals. There's some things some certificate. You say, well, I already got a bachelor's degree. I already have a master's degree, a Ph.D. That's wonderful. Go read 10 books or something. That's education. Learn something that you didn't know already, right? Do something in relationships. Well, yeah, I was always involved with my children when they were young. Okay, they big kids now. You can be involved with them now in a different way, right? Do some things in your recreational time. Well, I don't like leaving my city or state. Well, do something in your city or state that's recreational. It may be go to the park. It may be walk around the block. Whatever it is for you, do those things, right? So you have to do all those things to help you keep you balanced. So you can have set goals. Keep in mind that you are a promise keeper. That's what you are. And your job is to keep a promise to yourself because the promise, PRO, means forward, miss means to send. You need to send forth set goals. So your problems, because you're going to have some, this thing called life, PRO, forward, blim means to throw. Then you allow your problems to throw you into your promises, right? And if you don't have any goals set, your problem's going to throw you all around. You're going to be bouncing all around through life. But when you have promises or goals set, then when those problems do arrive, because they are going to come, right? That's not being negative, just part of life. Then they can throw you into some of the promises that you have set for yourself. But also realize that, you have enough time to get the goals, right? You have to measure your time so your goals won't be unrealistic. You want to make sure that all your goals, you want to make them your reality so they can solidify your life. You want to make sure that you have reasons, because keep in mind, you have set goals, right? The reasons that you have is that wet cement. And when the cement get hard and everything, then now the goal is setting something because your reasons are why you're doing what you're doing to get what you said you want. And also remember that the plan is like the rope that you're going to pull you out the hole to get the goals that you have set. Because if you don't have a goal, you have to live your life in holes. And then, you don't need all these holes in your life because you need goals set in your life. So I have said a lot. Could have said a lot more, but that's where I'm about to stop. I do appreciate you all giving me the opportunity to help share with you on how to set and get goals. Hope the information helped you in this whole series and especially this show here. And I look forward to helping you in some other things. So keep in mind, as I close, that great people like you have been born great. However, you must work on yourself continuously to make you a greater you. And I'll see you next time.